welcome back to another video of H&H Express model nscale trains. This will be part 6 of the build of the shadow station. In the last part number 5, you saw that I added a staging yard to the shadow station. Well, in this video we're gonna connect everything together. We're gonna connect the turnouts and the power sections to a control board, and then let's test the track again. So here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect these turnouts. I already create some extra wires to connect it to the control board. And what we're also going to do, this section is isolated. These sections, they will contain the same power as this section because this is one power section. But I'm going to use isolation points over here in this area, and I'm going to do it in this angle because of the length. So let me go back to here. Here is the turnout to the staging yard, and since this turnout is connected over here, I have an isolation point over here. So this section over here will get power over here as well. But I need to have a specific length, which means it needs to be up to here to make it a minimum of 80 centimeters. So I'm gonna cut it over here. That's the first thing what we're gonna do, and we're gonna make some isolation points, and we're gonna cut it over here so that every track has almost the same length. So if I'm gonna put this train over here and this over here, you can see they don't hit each other. So that means I can cut it over here and put some isolations in there. So that is the first thing what I'm gonna do, to cut all those rails, put the isolations in, and put some power wires, some feeder wires to these tracks, and then we will continue. So let me do that and I will be back. So now we can put the isolation sections in, which are these. I'm gonna add some power, so I'm gonna remove this section of track over here, drill a hole, put some feeder wires underneath. We'll do that off camera, and we'll do that with all the tracks which still need to have power. So let me do that and I will be back. So I finished these two, and I already cut this one out, as you can see. I added the feeder wires to it, so I'm going to position it back. I installed the isolators here. I'm going to do the same over here. So I have here 2 isolators which I need to cut apart. So let me do that first. Okay, that's it. So let's see if this train runs correctly over it. So let's move this one over. So now let's test it. Okay. Let's flip this turnout. That is fine too. Let's test this one. Okay, so I will do the other side off camera and then we will return back with the control board. So now that all feeder wires and the snap switches are installed and the cabling is in its position, we're gonna create the control board for the turnouts. And for that I'm using, again, as I did with the control board on the main track, the relay board. I'm going to use a Arduino Nano as test because the whole board will be connected to my main Arduino, the CRM node, to control all the turnouts within JMRI. And I'm going to use this. This is a 16 port I/O module which is controlled over I2C. And the I2C bus will then connect to the Arduino Nano and it will get a specific address so I can control all the relays. So but that do not bother you with how all the wiring goes, etc. in schematics. I already built the whole board, which I'm going to show you now. So this is the whole board, and as you can see I have already labeled them turnout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 10. These are all connected to this 16-pin I/O controller, and as you can see these two relays are not being used. I'm thinking of using them at some point, but I will not use them currently because on the staging yard I'm using servo controlled turnouts. And these are snap switch controlled turnouts. So I will address them later. So this is the board which will be underneath the shadow station, and this Arduino Nano is now configured as a test, which means that I can test all individual turnouts if they are working or not. So I will hook this up underneath the layout, the same as I did with the main track, and then we will continue. So I will be back. To give you an idea where the control board is positioned, this is the view from the shadow station off. So here you can see Buddytown, and next to it on the right there is Codyville, and in front of you there we have the train yard. And then if I move down a little bit, here is your shadow station. And underneath the shadow station there is the control board. And as you can see, the wires are still not connected, and that is what I'm gonna do now. So let me connect the wires and test the turnouts. So these are all the wires. I labeled them. So this, for example, is turnout number 10. The white is the common, and then I will need to make sure that I put the right ones, so the yellow and the green ones, onto this relay. So let me start with turnout number 1. So that will be this one. It's turnout number 1. I already tinned the wires, so I'm gonna cut them a little bit to length. And then white is the common, which is this block. And then I just start by putting the yellow and green in the terminal blocks of the relays. Push them in. Okay. Tighten then, see that it is tightened, yes. And then the next one. And from the relay board I use the normally open connection so that there will be not any power on the snap switches. This to avoid that they burn out. Okay, so that is complete. I'm gonna put power on this area over here. I'm gonna connect it and we're gonna test the turnouts. So now we're gonna test the turnouts and we're gonna start with turnout number 1, and you see that it is the turnout which goes to the shadow station. So TO01. Let me test that. Let's go over to turnout number 2. Sometimes the turnout doesn't respond, but I need to clean out the turnout. So let's go over turnout number 3. So now turnout number 4. I know that this turnout sometimes can give a little bit of a problem. I will make sure that it works. You see, it doesn't respond on the messages to switch the turnout. Sometimes it does, as you can see. That means that I need to clean out the snap switch.
Let's test number 5. And now go to number 6. Let me turn the camera from the 2 shadow station so that I can show you that turnout number 10 also functions. So I turned the camera to the shadow station and it's now pointing to turnout number 10. So let's test turnout number 10. Okay, so that looks all promising. So this will be the end of this video for the shadow station and the staging yard. I hope you liked it, so please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, please consider to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in a next video. Thank you and goodbye.